Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the SmackDown review. SmackDown tonight was from the Bell Center in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And the show just finished, and SmackDown, this show was absolutely abysmal tonight. This show was absolutely fucking terrible. I'm like, this whole show, did Triple H book this show? Or did Vince McMahon book this show? Did Triple H have Vince McMahon come in to book this show? Because apparently that's what the show felt like tonight. Triple H tonight booked just like his father-in-law for this show tonight. So what do we get on SmackDown tonight? We had Talla and Jason Mateo versus the Motor City Machine Guns. We had Sami Zayn. He was only here because this was in his hometown of Montreal when he is a Raw superstar. And he ended up taking on Sikoa. We had Charlotte Flair. She ended up taking on Chelsea Green. And the main event, we had John Cena and Cody Rhodes. They teamed up to take on Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre. This show, outside of John Cena's opening promo to start the show tonight, this show, after that, was completely fucking abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. The Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss segment was just cringe-inducing awful. It was just as bad as their promo on Monday Night on Raw, which I was live at. And yes, I cringed while I was there live during that segment. But yeah, overall, SmackDown, abysmal, terrible show this was tonight. But anyway, let's jump right into the review. SmackDown, open up tonight with John Cena. John Cena came out. Montreal crowd gave Cena a massive pop. And the Montreal crowd, I gotta say, they were pretty good tonight. So, Cena looked all fired up as he came out. He was taking in that massive pop from the crowd there in Montreal. So, Cena ran to the ring. And as he got into the ring, he directed over to Mark Nash, of course, who was the SmackDown ring announcer. So Mark Nash got on the mic. He kept saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the greatest of all time, the Never Seen 17, celebrating with each and every one of you here in Montreal for one last time. He is the real last champion, John Cena." So Cena got a big ovation once again from the Montreal crowd. He got on the mic. He kept saying that they have come a long way. He kept saying for the longest time, WWE was afraid to go to Montreal. He kept saying that there's a lot of history in this building, and that they were afraid because they thought the audience would hijack the show. I wish the Montreal crowd would have hijacked some of the show tonight, especially in the Alexa Bliss Charlotte Flair segment and, the Charlotte Flair Chelsea Green match. That would have been better than watching those two things combined. So Cena ended up saying that he has never been afraid of that. He ended up saying that he's always known that the audience is the show. Cena ended up going to say he knows the people at home wish they were here. He ended up saying that he knows why WWE was afraid, and that there are people everywhere. He ended up saying that he can barely hear himself talk because the noise is deafening. He ended up saying that you can even feel it through the screen at home. He ended up saying, imagine someone trying to plan a show around them. Cena ended up saying, sometimes when you're in the ring, it gets scary when the crowd starts singing. So the crowd started singing, ole, 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 ole. So Cena ended up saying that they might be afraid and wonder what to do. He ended up saying that if there is one thing that people have taught him through the years, it is that even though he might be afraid, he faces his fears head on and lets them sing and do their thing. Cena ended up saying that he embraces and enjoys every single second. So the crowd started chanting for Cena again. Cena ended up saying, trust me, it doesn't last forever. So the crowd started chanting, thank you, Cena. So Cena ended up saying that he's been performing for over 2 decades and has shared many valuable moments in the ring. Cena ended up thanking the crowd for that. He ended up saying that after tonight, he's got 11 dates left. Cena ended up saying that he's starting to understand that. He ended up saying that as far as being afraid, every single time a day goes by, he gets more afraid. Cena ended up saying that he wants to lean into this for a second because it's important that he gets this off his chest. Cena ended up saying that he wants to lead with honesty and vulnerability. He ended up saying that he is afraid that no matter how much he gives in this limited time, he'll never be enough and will never let the fans down. Cena ended up saying that he'll also admit that he is very afraid of leaving and the WWE moving on, that the people will forget about him. I don't think the fans will forget about John Cena. Cena ended up saying that he has all these fears on his mind. He ended up saying that he's even afraid of Brock Lesnar, to which Brock Lesnar ended up coming out after Cena's match with Cody Rhodes on night 2 of SummerSlam. And when Brock Lesnar came out, I'm like, really? Do we need Brock Lesnar? WWE doesn't even need Brock Lesnar. So Cena ended up saying that he doesn't know in what universe he would ever choose Brock Lesnar as an opponent. Cena ended up saying that him and the crowd have known each other for a long time. He ended up saying they know there's no universe where he ever backs down from Brock Lesnar. So Cena was like, am I afraid? Hell yes. Cena ended up saying that he's afraid Brock Lesnar just got himself a John Cena problem. Cena ended up saying that he is afraid that every single superstar has just gotten themselves a John Cena problem. He ended up saying time is winding down, and if they saw SummerSlam, they know he's not going down without a fight. So John Cena ended up saying, so Brock Lesnar, when you want some, come get some. He ended up saying to anyone brave enough to walk the aisle and face off with the last real champion, he plans to go down guns blazing. Cena then ended up saying that the last time is now, so if you want some, come get some. And I'm like, we did not get no explanation as to why Brock Lesnar came out at SummerSlam and attacked John Cena. We got none of that. We got no explanation. No follow-up here. So Logan Paul ended up coming out. Logan Paul came out, got boos from the crowd there in Montreal. So Logan Paul got on the mic. He ended up saying John. And then he got cut off by the boos from the crowd. And Logan Paul was like, oh, whatever version of John Cena this is makes me sick. Logan Paul ended up saying that he used to respect Cena, but now he doesn't even know him. Logan Paul then ended up asking the crowd, why are you so mad? Because nobody wants to see you. So Logan Paul ended up saying that at least he never switched up. So the crowd started chanting, "Fuck you, Logan." So Cena ended up warning Logan Paul that he may have just made the biggest mistake of his life. So Logan Paul was like to Cena, "Oh, well, we'll see about that." So Logan Paul ended up saying that Cena doesn't know who he is, and the people don't either. Logan Paul ended up saying that he has been real since day one. He ended up saying whether they like it or not, John Cena said it himself, and that Logan Paul does WWE better than any professional wrestler, and that includes him. It includes Cena. Cena ended up saying that Logan Paul might be right about that, and Cena saying that he admits to saying that. He ended up saying that Logan Paul is also the biggest dumbass he's ever seen in his life. Logan Paul ended up saying that Cena is saying whatever the bosses want him to. He ended up saying Montreal is the show. Logan Paul was like, "Oh, that's false. He is the show." Logan Paul ended up saying that Cena is a charity case, giving out matches. So Logan Paul ended up saying that he wants a match. Cena then suggests Logan Paul, takes on him. And Cena was like, "Well, that sounds pretty good." So Cena ended up saying that Logan Paul had better be careful what he wishes for. Logan Paul was like, "Oh, I want it." He ended up saying that he wants to face Cena in a French-speaking country in the middle of France. So Logan Paul ended up saying that he wants to face Cena at Clash in Paris. So that led to Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre attacked Cena from behind, and Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul then double teamed up on Cena with some stomps. Cody Rhodes then came out to save Cena. Cody Rhodes ended up sending McIntyre out of the ring. Cena ended up sending Logan Paul over the top rope. Cena then got on the mic and he accepted Logan Paul's challenge for Clash in Paris. So Cena was like, "Well, it seems like Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre want to fight." Cena ended up saying, "Well, it looks like he has a partner." He looked at Cody. So Cena then suggested Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul to take them on later on in the night. So Cena ended up saying that the champ is here. And that was how the segment ended. But overall, good opening to SmackDown here with John Cena coming out. Him telling the crowd, saying that he's got 11 dates left. And, he talks about Brock Lesnar, but no explanation as to why Brock Lesnar attacked him at SummerSlam. And John Cena saying that, "Well, am I afraid of Brock Lesnar? Hell yeah." And then just Logan Paul coming out there saying that he doesn't know what version of Cena this is. But very good opening to the show. And the Montreal crowd popped really well for Cena here. And then we had Kathy Kelly. Kathy Kelly was backstage with the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. Alex Shelley was shown with his ribs taped up after that TLC match at SummerSlam, which was great. So Alex Shelley ended up saying that him and Chris Sabin didn't get the titles, but they have made a career of getting knocked down and getting back up. Chris Sabin ended up saying to Kathy Kelly that him and Alex Shelley's road back to the top begins tonight. So then the Motor City Machine Guns end up making their way out, and then SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, we had the first match of the night, the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. They ended up taking on the MFTs, JC Mateo and Talla Tonga. Of course, you had Sikoa and Tonga Loa out there. They accompanied them. And this was a decent match here. Match got underway with Alex Shelley and Jason Mateo going at it. Both guys locked up. Jason Mateo ended up powering Shelley against the ropes. Jason Mateo ended up giving Alex Shelley a clean break. Shelley then ducked the blind side from Tonga, and Jason Mateo ended up taking Alex Shelley down. Alex Shelley started to fight back at Jason Mateo, and he applied a side headlock. Mateo ended up whipping Shelley off, but Mateo lowered his head, and he ate a kick from Alex Shelley. We had both Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin then pin a double-team flatline missile dropkick combo on Jason Mateo. Chris Sabin then drop-kicked Talla in his knees. Alex Shelley then held the ropes open. Chris Sabin ended up hitting Jason Mateo with a suicide dive. Chris Sabin then ended up putting Jason Mateo in the ring, and he kicked Talla in the face. So both Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley end up getting in the ring. They avalanched Jason Mateo in the corner. Shelley ended up tagging in. We had the Motor City Machine Guns end up going for the Skull and Bones, but Talla pulled Alex Shelley out of the ring, and he ended up sending Alex Shelley into the barricade. So then SmackDown went to commercial. We saw the whole picture-in-picture of what was going on. And then as SmackDown came back from the commercial, Talla cinched in the bear hug on Alex Shelley. Alex Shelley ended up punching out of that, but Talla ended up chopping Alex Shelley down. Talla scooped Alex Shelley up. Alex Shelley ended up sliding off, and he ended up shoving Talla to his corner. Jason Mateo made the blind tag, and he ended up stopping Alex Shelley from making the tag to Chris Sabin. Shelley ended up quickly booting Jason Mateo, and he tagged Chris Sabin in. Chris Sabin ended up hitting Jason Mateo with a crossbody block. He started punching away at Mateo. So Chris Sabin's shoulder was also shown messed up from the TLC match at SummerSlam. So both of the Motor City Machine Guns were banged up. Chris Sabin ducked the clothesline from Jason Mateo. He ended up hitting Mateo with Tornado DDT. He ended up going for the cover, to which Mateo kicked out. Alex Shelley ended up tagging in. So we had Sabin and Shelley end up delivering some kicks to Jason Mateo. Alex Shelley ended up rolling Mateo up, and Mateo ended up kicking out. So at the end of the match, we had the Motor City Machine Guns end up going to double team on Jason Mateo, but Talla ended up big booting Alex Shelley off the top rope. Talla then ended up hitting Chris Sabin with a choke slam. He ended up going for the cover, and there you go. The MFTs, Talla and Jason Mateo, ended up winning the match. Post-match, Sikoa got into the ring with Talla Tonga Loa, and Jason Mateo. Sikoa got on the mic. He ended up saying, "This is what greatness looks like." He ended up saying that they're looking at the soon-to-be tag team champions, and that they're looking at the most dominant United States champion in him. So Sikoa ended up saying that it's a shame because he's all dressed up in his gear, ready to fight, and is feeling good in Montreal. He ended up saying that there is nobody back there to fight him. Sikoa ended up saying that him and his boys are going to leave this crappy city because this is the last place he wants to wrestle in. So the MFTs end up going to leave. But Nick Aldis ended up coming out. Nick Aldis ended up saying that since Sikoa claims to be ready for a fight, he got a special guest who was ready to fight. Someone that Sikoa knows really well. He ended up saying that this is someone Montreal, Quebec knows very well. So out came Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn ended up coming out, and he ended up taking on Sikoa as SmackDown came back from the commercial. So we had Sikoa versus Sami Zayn, and this was a decent match here. So the match got underway. The crowd, of course, was all over for Sami Zayn. It was in his hometown. and the crowd was chanting, "Ole, ole, 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 ole." And Sikoa was shown covering his ears. He did not like that. So Sikoa and Sami Zayn locked up. Sikoa ended up backing Sami into the corner. We had Sikoa end up giving a clean break to Sami, and he ended up staring into Sami's eyes. Of course, Sikoa and Sami Zayn were, of course, once in the bloodline. So Sami started to fight back. He elbowed Sikoa in his head. Sikoa ended up sending Sami into the corner. Sami countered with an exploder attempt on Sikoa. Sikoa ended up getting out, but Sami ended up fighting back, and he had Sikoa in the corner. Sami Zayn then delivered the 10 punches to Sikoa, but Sikoa pushed Sami Zayn off, and he ran Sami over with a shoulder tackle. Sikoa then started chopping at Sami's chest. He climbed to the second rope for the 10 punches. Sami got out of that, and he tripped Sikoa, and then he did the 10 punches. Sami then ended up wailing away at Sikoa with some punches and chops against the ropes. Sikoa then reversed the whip. Sami ended up springboarding over Sikoa, and he had pinned a clothesline over the top rope to take Sikoa out. So Sami then connected with a somersault senton in front of the MFTs. So the MFTs surrounded Sami as he got Sikoa back into the ring. Sami then ended up chopping at Sikoa. Sikoa then reversed the whip, but Sami ended up pulling the ropes, and he elbowed Sikoa back. So this led to Talla clotheslining Sami down as the ref was checking in on Sikoa. So then SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, Sikoa was shown on the second rope. He lifted Sami. Sami countered with a sunset flip powerbomb to Sikoa. He went for the cover, to which Sikoa kicked out. Sami ended up grabbing Sikoa for the Blue Thunder Bomb, but Sami had trouble lifting Sikoa. Sikoa ended up elbowing out. He ended up going for a clothesline, but Sami ducked that, and Sami ended up going for the Blue Thunder Bomb again to Sikoa, and Sami couldn't even get Sikoa up again. So Sikoa ended up delivering his spinning solo to Sami. He ended up going for the cover, to which Sami kicked out. Sikoa then ended up mounting Sami, and he started punching away at Sami. So Sikoa ended up grabbing Sami by his beard. Sami ended up kicking the Samoan Spike away from Sikoa, and he ended up booting Sikoa in the face. Sami then caught Sikoa with an exploder into the turnbuckles. Tonga then got on the apron. Sami then punched Tonga off of the apron. Sami then ended up hitting Sikoa with another exploder into the turnbuckles. Jason Mateo then distracted the ref, so Sami ended up punching Mateo into the ring. Tonga got on the apron. Sami then challenged Tonga to get into the ring. This led to Sikoa decking Sami with a super kick. He then ended up going for a Samoan Spike to Sami, but Sami ducked it, and he rolled Sikoa up. So there you go. Sami Zayn ended up winning the match, and Sikoa was stunned at that. So Sami quickly got out of the ring before the MFTs could even get to him, and pretty much that was basically that. Overall, decent match it was between Sami and Sikoa. But not too happy that Sikoa lost, because, he is the champion. And of course, the more things change, the more things stay the same, with WWE booking their champions to lose. And then we had Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss were backstage. Of course, they're the Women's Tag Team Champions. Charlotte ended up telling Alexa that she knows tomorrow is her birthday. Well, Charlotte ended up saying actually she didn't know it. She ended up telling Alexa that she has a gift for her, though. And pretty much that was basically that. But yes, tomorrow is Alexa Bliss's birthday, so happy birthday to her. Surprisingly, Alexa Bliss is the same age as me. She's going to be 34. I'm going to be 34 in October. And as SmackDown came back from the commercial, we had a promo from the Wyatt Six. Uncle Howdy ended up saying that they will never lead us astray. He ended up saying that when they speak, they always use the truth. Joe Gacy ended up saying that they've shown their power is nothing more than a harmless illusion. Dexter Lumis ended up saying that they woke them up from their dream and made them realize their true reality. Eric Rowan ended up saying that there are more lessons to be learned and that their story has only just begun. And then we saw the highlights of the TLC match from SummerSlam, which of course Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis retained the tag team titles. And then we had the Street Profits. The Street Profits were in the trainer's room with B-Fab. They were icing up. DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa and Candice LeRae came in and they started to yell at them. Tommaso Ciampa ended up telling them that they almost killed a mother because in that match we had Ciampa end up accidentally going into Johnny Gargano, which led the ladder to fall with Candice LeRae up on top to retrieve the titles. It led to Candice LeRae falling and going through a ladder, splitting the ladder in half on the outside. So B-Fab ended up saying that Candice LeRae's own husband, Johnny Gargano, knocked the ladder over. So Nick Aldis ended up saying that he'll get control of this tag team division. He ended up saying next week, DIY and the Street Profits will square off. And that was basically that. So there you go. And then we had Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. They headed to the ring. The ring was covered in a covered display. And we saw a birthday cake in the ring and a present. Oh my God, this segment was so fucking terrible. This segment was so abysmal. Charlotte then greeted the crowd. She ended up saying Alexa Bliss's birthday falls during their championship celebration. Charlotte ended up saying that she could have made this about her, but she decided to be gracious and share the spotlight. And it panned to the cake, which said, "Congratulations, Charlotte Flair," written on it in big letters. And Alexa Bliss's name was written in a tiny font saying "Happy Birthday" on it. So basically, this was all just for Charlotte Flair, because oh, congratulations, Charlotte Flair, putting over her. Man, you just get Alexa Bliss's name like right in the center of the cake, like that small. So Charlotte then ended up showing a present. Alexa Bliss wasn't sure what the gift is, and she won't accept it. So they were going back and forth. They were pushing the gift toward each other. Charlotte ended up asking Alexa if she remembers what Alexa gave her 4 years ago. Charlotte then ended up bringing out of the gift a Lily doll with a "We're Not Friends" shirt on it. So Charlotte ended up figuring that Lily needed a tag team partner. Charlotte then pulled out a Charlie doll, which is Lily, which is a version of the Lily doll, but it just has long blonde streaks on it. And I'm like, what the fuck? What is this shit? And then this got the crowd chanting for Charlie. They're chanting for the doll. Are you fucking serious? Are you serious? Cheering for the doll. So yeah, they're liking what we're getting here. Mediocre shit. So Alexa Bliss ended up thanking Charlotte. Oh God. This segment had Vince McMahon written all over it. This is why I said in the title, Triple H booked like Vince McMahon here for tonight's show with this. So Charlotte ended up saying that she needs something else from Alexa Bliss, and that this isn't enough. Charlotte ended up saying that she needs something, and that Montreal needs something. Charlotte ended up saying to Alexa, "You may hug me." So the crowd started cheering. Alexa Bliss started looking around. She didn't think this was necessary. So Charlotte was like, "Oh, you may hug the queen, Lexi." So Alexa Bliss started to inch toward Charlotte, and then they got interrupted by Chelsea Green and the Secret Service. So Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, Alba Fire came out. Chelsea Green got on the mic. She ended up saying that she's a proud Canadian. But listening to them applaud these self-absorbed American weirdos makes her want to turn in her passport. She ended up saying, but judging by their love of the Habs, they don't see champions often. Chelsea ended up saying that she doesn't know why Charlotte and Alexa are parading freaky taggy dolls, and that they should be celebrating her homecoming. Charlotte ended up saying that she has one more gift for Alexa, and that is kicking Chelsea Green's ass. Chelsea was like, "Oh, well, we're busy tonight." So then Nick Aldis came out. Nick Aldis ended up saying that he likes making matches on the fly. He ended up saying that he's got a brand new referee. The referee came out, had a bow on his chest, and so Nick Aldis made the match. So we got Charlotte Flair versus Chelsea Green. So that was how the segment ended. Overall, this segment was absolutely fucking abysmal. This was some segment that you would see on the fucking Disney Channel. Awful. Awful, awful, awful. So then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, we had Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes ended up finding The Miz backstage. Yeah, The Miz is back because he was filming the reboot of American Gladiators. So Carmelo Hayes ended up saying that The Miz promised to take him to the top, but The Miz dropped him. The Miz ended up agreeing. He ended up saying that Carmelo Hayes can't just get opportunities ahead of him. Miz ended up saying that he got Nick Aldis to make them a tag team match for next week. Carmelo Hayes ended up shaking hands with The Miz, and Nick Aldis walked up. He ended up asking what that was about. Miz ended up telling Nick Aldis that he needs to talk to him in his office. So great, we're getting Carmelo Hayes and The Miz taking on a team next week. That's just great. Then we got Charlotte Flair versus Chelsea Green. This was boring. Absolutely awful and boring. Match started off, both Chelsea and Charlotte locked up. Chelsea ended up wrenching Charlotte's arm. Charlotte ended up doing a front wheel to reverse the pressure of the lockup, and she had taken Chelsea down. Charlotte then walked on Chelsea and kicked her out of the ring. Chelsea ended up knocking Charlotte back. Charlotte ended up fighting back and delivered a chop to Chelsea. Chelsea then attacked Charlotte and bounced her in the corner. Charlotte ended up knocking Chelsea back. She ended up chopping Chelsea's chest, and then she ended up kicking Chelsea in the head. Chelsea then reversed the whip into the corner. Charlotte then rolled up the turnbuckles and knocked Chelsea back. Charlotte then kicked Piper Niven Alba Fire away. She then ended up hitting Chelsea with a flying crossbody block. She ended up going for the cover, to which Chelsea kicked out. Chelsea then elbowed out of a waistlock and ended up sending Charlotte into the ropes. Charlotte ended up slinging over Chelsea and rolled her up, to which Chelsea kicked out. So that kick out from Chelsea ended up sending Charlotte face first into the middle turnbuckle. Chelsea then ended up kicking Charlotte's head into the turnbuckle. She then posed on the second rope as SmackDown went to commercial. Then as SmackDown came back from the commercial, of course, we saw the cake at ringside. Charlotte ended up punching away at Chelsea, ended up chopping at her. We had Charlotte end up doing the natural selection to Chelsea. She ended up going for the cover, and Chelsea kicked out. So Chelsea had Piper Niven and Alba Fire put the birthday cake in the ring. So Alexa Bliss ended up taking out Piper Niven and Alba Fire with a cannonball. Chelsea ended up going for the unprettier to Charlotte into the cake, but Charlotte countered. She ended up hitting Chelsea Green with her own move, with Chelsea's own move, the unprettier, into the cake. So Chelsea went face first into the cake, had frosting all over her face. Charlotte then applied the figure four. She ended up grabbing some frosting off of Chelsea's face. Charlotte tasted it. She was like, "Oh, this tastes good." Then she applied the figure eight on Chelsea. Chelsea tapped out. So there you go. Charlotte Flair ended up winning the match. Who cares? This match was awful. Some Vince McMahon shit that happened in this segment, and when Charlotte does the unprettier to Chelsea into the cake. That is some Vince McMahon booked shit. Then we had Kathy Kelly. Kathy Kelly was backstage with Tiffany Stratton. Stratton ended up telling Kathy Kelly that she's going to keep doing what she's been doing for 216 days. And that's keep the Women's Championship. Jade Cargill walked up. She ended up saying that the story will be different next time. Stratton then ended up telling Jade Cargill that the ending will be the same. So we had the Women's United States Champion, Julia, and Kiana James ended up coming up to Jade Cargill. Kiana James ended up saying that if Jade Cargill wants a title, she can give her a call. So Kiana James ended up giving Jade Cargill a card. Cargill then declined. And Kiana James ended up telling Cargill to keep the card. And pretty much Michin walks up with a kendo stick. She took the card from Cargill. She's like, "Oh, well, I got to talk to you about that championship." So pretty much that was basically that. And then as SmackDown came back from commercial, we had a promo from Aleister Black. Aleister Black ended up saying that he believes he is allowed to use violence to stop greater violence from happening. He ended up saying that there is no such thing as good and evil. Aleister Black ended up saying that he's an eye for an eye, limb for a limb kind of guy. He ended up saying that's why he exacerbated the violence against Damian Priest. He ended up saying that Priest is home, nursing a hairline fracture in his jaw. He ended up saying that Priest pushes back when someone pushes him. Black ended up saying that when someone pushes him, he pushes them off the cliff and waits for the smack at the end. Black ended up saying that if that makes him a scapegoat, then so be it. So that was what Aleister Black had to say. Okay, promo from Aleister here. And then we saw John Cena. John Cena was walking backstage, and R-Truth walked up to John Cena, or Ron Killings walked up to him. So John Cena and R-Truth, they were both acting like they were in the mirror. So both of them were doing the hand like this, the other hand like this, and then Ron Killings was psyched, or R-Truth was psyched that Cena is back. He ended up saying that if Cena is back, then he's back. So Cena ended up saying that he was worried about R-Truth, and that he was really mean for 5 months. You know what I'm saying? Does R-Truth remember when he made that kid in Brussels cry? You know what I'm saying? That it's good to have R-Truth back. So R-Truth was looking all confused at that. So pretty much, that was basically that. So Cena was thinking, that he was possessed by R-Truth. So that was that. Main event. Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre versus John Cena and Cody Rhodes. This was basically a nothing match here, in my opinion. Match ended in disqualification because Logan Paul low-blowed John Cena in front of the ref. The ref ended up calling for the bell. So John Cena and Cody Rhodes won the match by disqualification. Post-match, Logan Paul ended up chasing John Cena out of the ring and started fighting him to the back. Cody Rhodes then bounced McIntyre off of the steel steps. Cody then cleared the commentary table off. Cody ended up going after McIntyre, but McIntyre ended up hitting Cody in the skull with the Undisputed WWE Championship. McIntyre then ended up staring at the title. He then calmly put the title down. He then ended up hitting Cody with a Claymore kick through the front of the commentary table. So the front of the commentary table had a big hole in it from that Claymore. So then officials end up running down to check on Cody, and that was basically how SmackDown went off the air. Overall, show was awful. What an awful show this was tonight. But anyway, that's it for the SmackDown review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoy this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. And if you guys haven't checked out my previous video that I uploaded earlier today, I did a Blu-ray and 4K update. So if you guys haven't checked that out, definitely give that a watch. And I'll see you all later.